Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the garage. Well, we're not in the garage tonight. As you can see behind me, we got the race truck cab all loaded up behind Caitlin so we can drop it off at Peach Bottom Auto Body. I know the trailer is rather heavy on the ASN. Ideally I would have had the cab the other way, put the weight on the tongue, but this is what kind of worked the best for our little situation we got here. But they're not too far away, so we'll just take it easy. If we have any problems going down the road or whatever, we'll come back and figure something else out. But I don't think we're gonna have any issues. Like I said, I'm just gonna take it easy getting over there. I don't know how we're unloading it when we get there, but we'll figure something out. But yeah, so just like our tube, another massive load for the truck. But yeah, we'll get this thing over there so Sean and them boys can do their magic. Now that this thing's outside, I don't know if you guys can see that massive divot we got here, and then our oil can effect like Sean was telling us about. So it is in need of repair. It does not look good. There's some harsher stuff here. It's a little easier to tell out here, but I don't know that you guys are going to be able to pick it up on camera. So anyhow, without further ado, on the Peach Bottom Auto Body. Better put her in tow haul. I'm just messing. So guys, we're back to the house. I had some running around to do after we dropped the cab off at Peach Bottom Auto Body. I did swing by the local car wash, one of those touch-free Johns. Yeah, not perfect, but certainly cleans Caitlin up well. Not bad for 10 minutes. Definitely making her look a little better, because the original plan was to put her in the garage and start working on her tonight. But we had another issue. Before I got it in there, I figured, you know what, let's fix this headlight. I've had the driver's side headlight out for about a week now. Everybody at work has been telling me every time I come in, you know, you got a headlight out, because these fog lights, when they're on, you can't tell. So anyhow, it's a newer headlight. I figured it's, you know, no way it could be burnt out. Maybe I didn't get it snapped in all the way. Well, that's when I found this. So here's the plug for our headlight, all burnt up. Yeah, just not looking good at all. So these are aftermarket headlights. They're Depot, I think it is. I don't even know if you can get them anymore. I know for a while you couldn't. But anyhow, I ran down to the local Advanced Auto and picked up a repair harness, which I hope will work. It is the same style plug as this, but the snap connector that's broke off of this one is actually on the sides of the plug. But it should fit our bulb just fine. It's got two little tongs on there. So we'll get to replacing that on the headlight. And just in case anybody was wondering, Dad actually suggested, I was on the phone with him, and he said, well, why don't you take the one off the race truck? You don't need the headlights on that. But those being the standard two bulb design, just like, or yeah, two bulb design, just like the 3500, the bulb actually just plugs right into the back of the headlight, so there is no little harness inside of these quad beam, or those two beam headlights, as opposed to the quad beam. So anyway, we'll get this thing repaired and we'll get to making some room in the garage for Caitlin, and that work will probably start tomorrow. Well, now it's the following day. So once we got our headlight issue fixed on Caitlin, which this morning it was fine, I got to clean up the garage a little bit. Well, kind of this side, just kind of straighten it up a little because I wanted to make some room because we will be bringing Caitlin in here. We have some stuff to do to her, but we are still waiting on a couple parts that I completely forgot about. So I had actually rolled the frame all the way to the end of the drive here, right to the front wheels were in the grass, and I couldn't push it up. So used the Polaris, pushed her back in, and we're gonna get the cutting on this thing a little bit. So there's a bunch of miscellaneous stuff we can get rid of. Like we still have a couple exhaust brackets hanging out there and stuff like that. We got a parking brake bracket. I'd actually like to get rid of the brake lines for some other work we're gonna be doing. I don't know if we're gonna get rid of all of them or just some, but we're also going to get rid of our front mounts for the cab. So if you guys can see that, I got a little mark. That is the center line of where our sidebars come down for the cage. So the plan is to actually drill through the frame, and we will run a bar into there as an outrigger. So this mount's kind of in a way. I think if we cut it down, we could probably get away with it. But I think what I'd rather do is try and get this mount or this outrigger about halfway, about middle of the frame. So in order to do that, we're gonna have to get rid of that bracket. Now, when we go to do that, there's gonna be some other issues here with the, the name escapes me at the moment. Well, with this bracketry here, not a problem. We'll just drill through it and then repair it later. So that's kind of the game plan. We'll get rid of some more metal on the frame. We're not going to get into the heavy duty stuff I have planned, just some little incidentals, if you will, like our front brackets for the front of the cab. We can trim these down. I don't want to get rid of them completely right now because of the fact that I don't know what's going to go on up here, and that's something I feel that we can do just about any time. You know, if we get rid of the side parts that hold the fenders on and all that, you know, if we get rid of that, we'll come up with some kind of tubing to fix that and all. So anyway, we might trim them up. I haven't really decided yet. Like I said, that could be done at a later date. Really, we just need to focus on this area where the cab goes. So we'll get to cutting these mounts off and all that stuff, and yeah, get to doing some more cutting here in the garage. And also, on a side note, I think I said yesterday I'd ran Caitlin through the car wash here in town. Well, as you guys can probably hear, it's rained all day. So you're welcome. You know, finally washed the truck after all winter, and it rains next day. But I guess that's what I get for not paying attention to the weather. Got all the unnecessary bracketry removed from the truck. Really, it was just a couple little things over here. There was a bracket here that I had cut down previously, got rid of the rest of that. Cleaned up some rust spots. The front cab mounts are now gone. Got rid of all the brake lines. And then I've just kind of been eyeing everything up, trying to figure out what else we can do and all that. Basically, the plan is kind of to stick from the front of, well, not even the front of the truck, but basically the engine cross member to these cab mounts is what we're going to try and focus on, because that's where the cab sits. All the other stuff back here and in the engine compartment, most of that we can do when we get the cab back and we get the cage going and all that. So a couple things I did find when I was taking the brake lines off. Apparently this truck has had new brake lines here, the rubber ones going to the caliper itself, but as you can see here, this thing moves all around. It was just spinning when I was trying to take the fitting off. I'm like, what's going on here? Then I realized, well, these brake fittings are supposed to have a clip top and back when you put them in. Nope, we don't have a single clip on this side, and on the passenger side there was just a clip on the bottom. So whoever changed them, they did, you know, they changed them, but they didn't do it right. Another thing I found was, well, this right here. So right there, we just have a whole clump of dirt and shit in here, you know, more sand. And that's a hole. There, you know, that's an empty hole in the frame, the frame, well, where the bracket goes. And that had so much shit sitting in it. There's more dirt in here. Can you believe it? Well, I can, absolutely. We all could at this point. But there's even some in here where the power steering bracket is, or pump, or gear. I can't get the light. Hopefully you guys can see that. Look at all that crap in this steering gear bracket. I mean, it's like an inch deep. Let's see if I can do this. Well, anyhow, there's a bunch more dirt in there as well. It's just never ending with this thing. I still can't believe how bad it is. But yeah, so those are two mounts we got rid of. A little bit of weight. We'll figure something out for that. Probably just end up coming off the outrigger. But so guys, we got a little bit of work done here in the garage tonight. Cut a little bit more weight. Made some more work for ourselves as well. But that's fine. It's all stuff we have to do, you know, get access for how we want to mount the cage and all that, plus clean up, you know, some stuff that we didn't need at all. And we still have a lot more of that to do, and apparently we got a lot more dirt remediation to do, because we still are finding dirt in all the nooks and crannies. I'm sure the frame's loaded, but we'll take care of that here in the near future. But yeah, I think I don't know where I was going with that. So anyhow, guys, that's it for the framework tonight. We'll be getting back to it shortly. I'm hoping the rest we can do outside. It was definitely a big plus tonight, being warm enough to have the garage open while I was cutting and grinding. When I was doing that with the garage door closed, it really just sucked. It was horrible. But I'm hoping that the weather clears up. We can get Caitlin in here to do what we got to do on her in a day or two, and we can work on the frame outside and try and keep the dirt level down here in the garage, because I'm just tired of cleaning up. And it would be nice to park Caitlin in the garage like I did last night, at least a few days before we get the cab back. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Catch you on the next one. Get out in your garage, get the wrenching on your truck.